we should also be making money. What do? They set another competitor level. They may start another bridge also slightly better than yours in many ways. Copy and paste elsewhere. Copy, improve, and paste. Pattern multipliers. Maybe they can come up with a very good technology which outdo yours. Now it is you to keep on doing some research and know what is happening so that the competition does not clear you from the market. These are very essential things that when you go to the field, you start seeing them. You start remembering that I said them in the class, and especially you as engineers who fight a lot of competition from even other countries globally. They are Chinese here now, doing very well. And they are charging probably a quarter of what other our engineers would charge. So you need to be very, very, very careful when it comes to handling projects. Competition is there, and that's why I mentioned it, and I wanted you to learn what it is. I've given you the characteristics of that stage. There is high competition, little growth because some sales may have stagnated. Don't try to think that when you start with there's a growth level, you expect also sales to grow. They may stagnate because of competition. You may come up with a strategies here to promote sales so that those people probably are not using rail line or any other things. You can come up with differentiated products or promotions that will make them start using it. You have seen Safaricom, they always come up with something else. If you have been used to bundles, they change to something else good. They bundle something else different. If you have been buying every day, they group them into monthly, 4 months. They give you free bundles. They give you so many things. So that is what we call bundling when it comes to marketing. And we mentioned this one the last time I was in the class. Stage 4, this stage, and class rep, you should alert your people that it's not becoming, it's very disturbing for me to receive them when I'm still teaching. They should come early. Stage 4 is a called decline stage. This one require now an intellectual mind. At this stage, the expenditures now begin to equal profits, meaning that you are backpedaling. If you're not careful, the expenditure may exceed profits. It means that you are making losses. You have already crossed now the path of making profits. Then you require to have a very conscious mind and ask yourself, why is it one happening? You have to do some reflection, infraction also. How do I move from this quagmire? You must come up with new strategies. Apart from new strategies, you need to come up with the methods upon which you'll be able to turn around that farm. So you may probably invite the services of turnaround managers. We have got turnaround managers known for that. They will come with inflection points and say that from today's onwards, we have to abandon A, B, C, D. We have to abandon strategy A and B. We have to abandon the strategic plan that ran from this period to this period. We have to create it all for the new 3 years, which will be able to catapult us to a new way level. There are various options available here, which would include we can reposition, we can rebrand our product, if it's a bridge, to something else different. And we were able to extend life cycle. I'll give example here, away from engineering. At one point, you may find that version of a cloth, maybe a suit, is selling no more, or even selling, the sales are declining. How do we go about that so that we rebrand ourselves and reposition? The purpose of rebranding is to elongate the life cycle of a product, or is you can reposition the farm such that old become good. Long years, 1970s, people used to wear shoes called platform. They had got 3 course. Even if you are 5 foot, to look like you are 6 foot. And it was accompanied by bell bottom, a trouser which has got a bell-shaped bottom. They are coming back now, but you're introducing them with a slit at the bottom, but it's a bell bottom. Platform also coming high-heeled in a unique way. We are trying to elongate the life of that product. And it happens. if it's a party in politics and it is waning down, you can reintroduce and reposition it differently. You can say now you have regional uh, coordinators who in your mind are not technical, they are political headmen of that region. They are listened to by people. And then the party become vibrant again. We are only repositioning it. So you need to come up also with ways to maintain the products in the market. This one you may reduce the cost because you already made money, so that you get maximum inflow of people dictated by the volume, and then you get the same money you had before. I'll give an example. If by selling 10 units of a product, each one 5 shillings, you get 50 shillings, you can decide that you sell more of the product. You sell 20 instead of 10 at half price. You still get the same profit, but you have repositioned that product. You can also be a little bit naughty, take off the market for out of the take off the product of the market, and people will feel good. Well, you don't have it, but later on they start yearning for it. This has happened. If you are too frequent in one place, people may get used to you, and they may get what we call complacency. That's why presidents and other people should not have total availability. It may bring contempt. So what do? Sometimes we take off a product out of the market, out of the shelf, and because you have been used to it and you like it, you make noise. When you come back, everybody will know you have come back. I bought a small phone called Nokia. Before then, I don't know whether you're born by then. There was a Nokia 310, but they came up with similar Nokia 310, more features but smaller, but everything the same. I bought it, and it was a hit in the market. We can take over a product off shelf just a bit, but to make people now to have an element of yearning for that particular product. This has happened in so many other areas. Let us now introduce a new product, see how it will behave. There's something called new product development. This was pretty much in engineering. It is the process of bringing in an original product or an idea to the market. But remember, much as it's new, it will also go through the cycle that I've introduced. But remember, the business world is dynamic, sometimes sporadic. So if you are not careful, you may think you're introducing a new product, not knowing that it's being introduced in another corner and it is flying and everybody is going for that direction. Then you'll be a laggard. Laggard are those people who introduce products late into the market when other people are there. So when you're having a new product development, you must first of all do your own research. Has it existed in this market before? And if it existed in this market, what features were there at that time? And do these features still hold? Can you modify those features and probably even diversify the product so that it can have a new appeal to the new customers, and probably will have a new aggregate demand on it? This happened a lot on multinational companies like Coca-Cola. Every time Coca-Cola, they bring a new feature onto it, either a bottle, the taste. They sometimes say this is for the people who are suspecting they have got diabetes, or there are people who are non-diabetic, or people who want diet, Coca-Cola, those kind of things. You are trying to bring back to the market in a big way. And if it's not happening in Kenya, it can happen in another country. We use mutumbas, and you're okay, happy. Mutumba clothes. If probably someone else did not like it in America, pack them, and they're almost new. And people who have shops around here saying this is camera. I don't know what is called camera for. I mean, they'll buy. You have elongated the life cycle of a product. So you're talking about when anytime you produce a new product, always think about the cycle, because that cycle will determine the success or failure of that particular product you're introducing to the market. So new product must follow the normal process of talking about. But you're asking yourself a question. When it comes to small enterprises which do not have the advantage of moving from point A to point B or moving from one country to another country, how can they withstand competition from multinationals? But these people have to continuously update their products, improve the product features, improve the quality, and all that kind of thing, so that they can fit into the current trends, be it sporadic or being a slow change in the market. What do they do? So, stage one, there's something called idea generation. Before you produce the product, you must have an idea. This idea is taken through a process. And there are different unique ideas based on both internal and external sources. Uh, some of the sources of a new product ideas are brought about by customers. A customer comes and tell you, no, 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 I'm taking this product of yours, and sometimes I have this reaction. Can you remove A, B, C, D ingredients so that you can also be able to consume it? Is giving you an idea. I want to give an example here. There are two vehicles. One is called Lamborghini, the other one is called Ferrari. Lamborghini came after Ferrari. Lamborghini is now known all over the world, and it is very expensive vehicle. It costs around 34 million Kenya shillings when it is new. Ferrari would cost something like 10. One farmer who was very rich felt that there are some changes in need to be made, to be modified on Ferrari. Him was dealing with the combine harvester as an engineer, but a farmer. He visited Ferrari production site or factory headquarters. He told them, this vehicle, I like it a lot, called Ferrari. But if you are to be able to change this feature, blah, 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 here and there, I'll buy two of them. The engineer told them, no, 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 Mzee, you don't do things that way here, although he was selling an idea to them. Here we've got design from factory. They went through very serious verification by our engineers, so we cannot change anything. Someone was raising the hand. Caesar? Someone was trying to raise his hand or something. Did I see it correctly? Okay. So what happened? This farmer did not get satisfied and he got very angry. That I'm selling an idea to them so that they can improve this vehicle, and they're not. So he went and got some few engineers from other areas. He told them that, can you see this Ferrari? I want an improved version by A, B, C, D. Can you be able to do it? He said, why not? We're able. So that's when Lamborghini was born. It was designed as the farmer wanted, and that was a new idea. The vehicle costs between 30 to 40 million now, Kenya shillings. Lamborghini. Yes, someone is raising his hand? No, it's okay. Coming and going. I don't know who is that. So this is what you're talking about here. When a customer comes and to your office and tell you, look here, there's something I want you to change on this product so that it become more viable. Don't ignore. That's a very good source of ideas. And they're very good, unique idea because they're dealing with your product product development. So you can get it from the customers. You can get also competitors. The competitor may start something, notice that they copied from you and improved. These papers have a lot of ideas if you read them well, effectively. You can read journals. University journals have got a lot of ideas, but nobody goes there. Employee could suggest something, tell you, oh no, this product, from what we are seeing, and the way we are getting information from the ground there in the field, we need to do ABCD. Don't ignore them. Suppliers, the people who supply materials, they be the ABCD. They may tell you they've got new gadget, and if you fit it in your in your vehicle, it will become better than what it was. That's what you're talking about, idea generation. The two, idea screening. You need to screen ideas. Go through the process of ideas that you have, filter out the most viable ones, and probably avoid the ones which are not adding value. So the cardinal objective here is to have a proper focus on ideas that are in line with your customers or company's value and financial goals. Don't go for something that you cannot be able to support financially. Page 3, concept development and testing. At this stage, a good product idea must be developed and detailed product concept must come out. Detailed in a sense that the designs set out by engineers, you set up a committee that will interrogate them, will add value, will evaluate their suitability in that project. This one will help now to develop a product that has got features, that has got value to what the customer would wish to spend money on. So remember, the purpose of an enterprise is to make money. So you must be very careful with the costs, revenue, and the profit at the end, what you call revenue to the firm. But if there's no money coming out of the product, however good it is, then you should know, unless you're doing it as a prototype for research, you should not go to that direction. Ask yourself several normative questions. Will this product fit in the market you are setting? Will it solve a problem in the society? If it doesn't do so, abandon it in the very beginning. Stage 4, product development. A research and development department or a wing or a section is one which is entrusted with developing that product. What do you mean by development? We have moved from a concept. Now we have a prototype. Now, can you come up with actual product itself, test it in the market, do a lot of trials? If it's a truck, give it to companies that really go to very harsh areas. Participate in rallies, if it's a small vehicle, Mercedes-Benz. Participate in speed tests. Go to a desert, give it to 5 or 6 people, pay them per day a lot of money. Let them cruise Kalahari Desert with it, and then they come up with the result. They'll tell you the temperatures, when it reached to this point, the vehicle ceased. Blah, 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 all these things. That's what we call product development. Stage 5, business analysis. Now, we are asking ourselves a question, and also the stakeholders are asking the question: why spending millions shillings on this research, on this concept, on this product, and you're not getting anything at the end of the month? They will ask you those questions. Those are genuine questions. Why should you spend millions of shillings and you're not sure of getting anything back? Any stakeholder will ask this question. They will question the feasibility of a product. They will question the viability of the product. What are the objectives? Are we achieving each and every objective? You put to task to answer those questions. When the product is developed and is mature, we launch it. We take it to the market, we do market testing, people accept it. If it's a product for consumption, they consume it. You ask them question: is a package good? When you hold this soda, are you able to hold it easily? No, when I'm driving, I cannot take it. I need to have maybe a design which can allow me to handle it. My hands are very big. It requires a bigger bottle. This one, I feel I'm holding something wrong. Do you have the proper advertisement? Are you advertising it to the group that are potential consumers of that product? Now you're testing the market. If the market is right, commercialize it, produce in large number, get millions of shillings, retire early, get money, feel good about it. What I've said looks simple, good, and sweet, but in Kenya situation, does it happen? There are a lot of challenges when you are starting a business anytime in Kenya. Starting from registration, you'll be harassed a lot at any given time. When I was young like you, I got to university without an ID. And I had a very serious problem getting an ID. So I got late like 6 months because I was in a school and I was supposed to clear before I go to university and get it the right time. So there was a delay somewhere. And then the president at that time said that we want the university schedule. There was a delay for 2 years. So we are told that all the 2 years must go at a go. So what happened? Now I had to join the university without my ID. It was a good thing because my father would know the boom we are given by the government. And the other students would not. So the fathers would give them more money plus the boom they had. So me, I didn't have that advantage for the first year. Then when I was taking my ID, I met an officer. That officer, we took pictures, photos, photo size, passport size photos. And we were called one by one. And I found another person who was not able to trace inside that office his pictures, photo size, passport. So I was told that pick your pictures there and take it to the next room. So while I was taking, I was told to look myself at the mirror and look at the picture that looks like me there. That officer must have assumed that I have a brain equal to a bean, and I couldn't tell who I am unless I check myself in the mirror. I did that. It was very rude, but I got my pictures. I took them to the other room. I got the ID later on and went back to university. 3 years down the line, I graduated, and there was general election by that time. One of my lecturer, I was in an economic class, and we are few. Economics used to take very few people. Uh, was made the presiding officer of my district. By then they were called districts, they were not counties. He quickly told me, what are you doing here? I come from this district. I also come from this district by a returning officer. What role were you given? I was given the role of a crack. He said, no. I'm having a gap somewhere in this region. I want you to go and be he was the presiding officer, but wanted me to be constituency returning officer. So I was given that position at that age. So I was asked to go and recruit my cracks, around 10 of them, which I did. One of the crack that came in for that post was the lady now who told me to check my face on the mirror. We talked very nicely. I interviewed her, plus other panelists who were there. But when I went out, I called her. I don't remember my face. She said, I think I remember your face. Where did you see this face? I can't remember exactly. Can you tell me? Yes, I told her. Do you work in the registration office for ID and birth at this place? Yes, I do that. Oh. So we are able to connect. There's someone who is making noise. Don't know who is that. We're able to connect, but I reminded her of that story. She felt very low. But I told her I qualified you because I know you have experience, but it's also good to treat people nicely. So why did I bring this story? There are many challenges in Kenya. Even getting an ID, someone has to tell you to check the face, check whether you can be able to recognize your face from the mirror, carry that image in your brains, and go and check the picture that looks like you. If you are to start a company, you can tell now how many struggles that you go through before you get the certificate of registration of your company. But the Kenya government has come up with a better way of doing it. We know small enterprise contribute highly in terms of gross domestic product to a country, but we must also spend a lot of money to build them, motivate them. But these challenges that come along are brought by human beings. So the government is trying to come up with a one-stop shop where you can get all those things. Huduma is one of the methods, and it's doing very well. But those challenges does not mean that Huduma will clear all of them. The government has to continuously come up with the policies and measures that will help us grow this business. So what challenges do you expect to see? One, lack of adequate managerial skills. We want business, we are happy to start businesses, but do you have what it takes? Can we have skills that can be used by an entrepreneur when they start a business? Can we train them? Lack of adequate finance and limited access to credit. We've heard of stories a year ago or 2 years that women who want to take loans from big loans from banks, they need to be certified by the husband. Supposing you are not married, those are necessary barriers, and the government should remove them. If you want to sell land, all family members must know. Where did they participate when you are buying? I've talked about education, knowledge and skills, stiff competition. We are producing goods and services at a very high cost because the cost of power in Kenya is very high. Electricity. In Egypt, they're using nuclear power, and the cost of production could be as low as almost 10 cents of a product. What happens? If you come up with a product here, product X, it could be costing 50 shillings, Kenya shillings. But the one coming from Egypt could be costing 10 shillings. Rational consumer would buy that one from Egypt. This is almost unfair competition from other countries. Some countries normally bar other countries exporting goods to us directly. So we have excise duties, we have we institute some taxes on it. We have quotas. We say you cannot import if you have imported this amount or these goods, you cannot import or export more than this, import more than this. We have seen a lot of influx of products and services from China at a very low price, which really give Kenyans a very hard time. Near KU, there was a center and it was closed by entrepreneurs. They said, I remember Honorable Minister for Ministry of Industry, Trade, and I don't remember what it is, Honorable Kuria, went there and closed it down. Because we're asking, why would the Japanese or Chinese sell simple things like this? And you can make it from here. And they're giving us hell of time in competition. But that's not a solution. We need to train our people to be competent globally, because if you overprotect them, they'll never be innovative. Let us learn how to incubate our businesses. Tell young entrepreneurs like you, there are areas in government you can incubate businesses like Kildi. You have a good idea, you can do it. We are also trying to come up with one in technical university where we would allow, and we trained the other day, around 310 entrepreneurs. I was involved in that training. And we are trying to say, we go to the Department of Civil Engineering, come up with a concept, develop that concept to a product, help these people to come up with it, patent it, allow them to start in terms of incubation in our environment, the environment we are in the university. And when they are mature enough to go and compete with other people out there, entrepreneurs, we allow them to do so with some good guidance, and therefore they become a university spin-off. A university spin-off is a business that has been conceptualized in a university. The product is developed by the university plus the entrepreneur who could be a student or any other person. But when he goes out with it, they are called spin-off. We have proper infrastructure that would facilitate the development of a product to maturity and help the consumers to join the market. Can we be able to help them produce goods like Kirdi at a lower price and incubate them for a period of time? Those are called infrastructures. We have Kirdi, we have Kipi that normally protects entrepreneurs who have got a product but they don't know how to protect them. We also increase the number of workers we have, of course, contribute to the employment. We have so many other problems like post-election disruption. We remember it, 7 to 8, that disrupted all the businesses in Kenya. I've given you the challenges facing startup in Kenya, like planning. We don't know how to plan. That's why you need to have some training for entrepreneurs, the way I'm doing it. We could also have workshops. We could also have mentors and coaches who can help. Marketing, so many people know they are marketing, but instead of marketing a product, they normally disturb people. You have seen people who comes around in the highway, in the jam. When the vehicle stops, they come knocking. We are selling this, and whatever they are selling is electrical. You don't know whether it is working or not. So we need to start the journey from zero of marketing, know how to handle the product, how visible our products are. The visibility of our industry is supposed to be enhanced through marketing so that we, as Kenyans, we can be able to regroup ourselves, rebrand ourselves, like the way we have Build Kenya, Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, such taglines, such slogans, such mantra would help us build our country. Our people aware that cash flow management, the money coming in and money going out of the business, is the lifeblood of that business. So startups should have a consistent lookout on ways they are spending money, and have a tab on what is going out, what is coming out, what's going in, coming in, and going out. Am I breeding here in terms of money? Am I giving out more than I'm supposed to do? Do I keep my books of account well? Do I have a mentor? Do I have a coach in this region so that I don't overdo anything? And there's so many softwares that you can use. They are called ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. They help you to shape up your books of accounts in terms of ledgers, in terms of cash flow management, in terms of balance sheet, and you're able to tell the position you are in. QuickBooks is one of it. It is superb. I normally use it, and it has got a lot of good analysis, and it can help you a lot. When data is collected in your farm, you have analyzed, and it's helping you to make a decision as data viable for management. We are saying that we may lose them. What do you do? Probably buy a space in the cloud, what we call cloud computing, and mirror it in several regions. That if you lose it from your office or someone destroyed it, you can also get those things elsewhere. You have got so many ERPs, what we call enterprise resource planning tools that you can use. And I'll give an example here. You can use QuickBooks, you can use NetSuite, you can use Zoho, but QuickBooks is much more prevalent than any other that I've mentioned around here. Or you can ask a designer who knows how to do that and can help you to do that. How do you manage time? This is a serious problem. Because you're an entrepreneur and nobody is following you up, you think that you can do things the way you want. You report at work 10, you leave at 3, you go to golf. One day you close down the business because you do not have the discipline that is required to manage your time. So we have only 24 hours, all of us, but how you manage that 24 hours will determine the very great end where you'll be. I always tell my student, where you are doesn't matter. Even if you are poor now, the direction you are facing is what that matters most. If you are in a small business, don't worry. The best thing you have is have consistency in the growth. You should have a strategy. You must have a mentor and a coach so that you're able to achieve your desired objective at the right time. So all these things I've talked about there, they are purpose of as a tool. I don't know how to mention all of them. And we're talking a lot in Kenya that by 2030, you will be a middle-level company, a middle-level country, that the lowest person will be middle income earner by 2030. How many years are we to 2030? Around 6 years now. We came up with a vision 2030 during the Kibaki time, and it was a long-term development blueprint. Now we are getting close to it. But this one was distilled from what we call Millennium Development Goals, MDGs. Millennium Development Goals are UNDP-based initiative that helps countries, especially developing countries, to come up with strategies so that they can be able to harness the resources they have around and they move from poverty to a higher echelon. So the aim of the 20 vision is to create a globally competitive and prosperous country. We are trying. At one level, we did so well. During Kibaki, we did around 7.7% growth to the GDP. But now we are, I don't know exactly where we are, but it should be 2.3. We are heading to 0. We should know that Kenya is our country, and we should stop being tribal, political, and know that whoever is appointed anywhere, we support them. Political parties should know that they should work hard, correct one another in line with the country vision 2030. I've given all this, and I want you to read much more Millennium Development Goals. They are very important for you people like engineer. We have seen areas that 6 area sectors that improve likely to help us improve our GDP, tourism, wholesaling, and that kind of thing. They may not be very necessary at this point, but I have mentioned them so that you'll be aware that they exist and they are very relevant to us. I've given the social pillar for the 20 vision. That was not my objective, but I want to give you notes so that you read on your own. And when you come out of the university, when you're discussing with other engineers, they'll be knowing that you are taught nicely and you feel proud with what we taught you in the university about. I want to hear any question from you. I don't talk, and maybe some of you went into Asaraba. Asitiba. Arnold. Arnold, are you getting along with that as well in terms of listening and following what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm getting along.
You're okay.
Yes, I'm okay.
Fine. Kipruto. Hezron. Alap Kipruto. I want to hear from you. Marked absent.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, I've marked you absent already.
No,
You're not
I'm
talking.
okay. Sorry.
James Cheroge, are you with us?
Yes, I'm present.
Have you followed what I've said?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good. Let us see now another subtopic. Managing projects. Your course is about projects as an engineer. And how you manage a project matters more than anything else. You could have engineering degree, but if you don't know how to manage a project, people will not recognize your degree. It's a book, we call it project management, but managing projects here is what your syllabus is about. What is a project? A project is a group of unique interrelated activities. They are interrelated activities that are planned and executed in a certain sequence to create a unique product or service. But that service must be made for a particular period of time. Within that framework of time, there is a budget in the mix, and of course, the product must be customer based. That is, the specification must be such that they address the problem in the society. But we are saying here, project can be commercial, it can be social. When it's commercial, it is when it is designed for the purpose of making money. The tools, the specification, and everything are geared to what the customer want, but they pay premium for it. I'll give an example. We have several vehicles around here. You can have Vit, you can have Range Rover, you can have a Lamborghini. Lamborghini is 40 million. Range Rover maybe 10. Vit 800,000. All of them will do the same thing. Move the person from point A to B conveniently. That's enough. So you produce that vehicle knowing that this X number of people will be able to buy. That's commercial. But there are those projects that are dedicated for the social purposes only. You're not doing it so that to make money, but you're looking at what you call social impact. How well does it help? If a large number of people would contract HIV disease viruses, the whole world will die. Or the small group that will survive, would they be able to sell product to them? Where will they sell the product when they produce it? So what you're saying here is that there are those social-based projects. The purpose is not to make money, but to have an impact in society, a positive one. For example, polio immunization for small children. We are preventing a serious problem of our people becoming disabled. Child welfare project, you know what it is. We are protecting delinquent society, delinquent kids to become hopeless society. Adult literacy project, we want everyone to be able to take instruction and the policy and able to move together, pull together in the same direction to 20 that vision. Water project, we want clean water so that we move away from waterborne diseases. So whole society would benefit. So we have commercial and social. So I've given you different categories of projects that may fall under this category. One, manufacturing projects. You can manufacture goods like sheep. Now you're manufacturing sheep in Kenya. We are moving in a very good direction. Kisumu people, they can manufacture sheep boats instead of importing them. We have our own agricultural machineries that we are coming up with them. These are commercial projects. Sometimes we don't make them commercial. We come up with boats that help people cross safely in crocodile harvested area. Like the other day, I saw some students were given a boat in Baringo. Baringo is very dry, and it will help students cross a certain river that cross a certain river that invested with the crocodile because the bridge has been submerged by water because of the climate change. Those are social impact. You can have construction projects like civil engineers like you, construction of city hall, construction of stadiums, construction of those facilities that will help society achieve desired level of either satisfaction or coherence. So coherence in terms of how they live with one another. When we have competition, we don't care whether you are Kalenjin, Kikuyu, Meru, or whatever. You participate, all of you compete and become happy. These are social impacts. Good roads. You people, you're civil engineers, you understand this thing better than me. Managing projects here so that we are able to get the product that you want. There are several categories. There are those people who specifically the work is to reorganize people either into community-based organization, NGOs, so that they can come up with the impactful projects that can have a positive change to the society. I want us to see something else. I've mentioned here that we have got various level of projects, same social projects. I want you to understand there's also something called research projects. We had the other day a very serious problem of COVID. I don't want to say that COVID is completely over so that start misbehaving. Be careful. We are saying you can have research projects. The world over, through World Health Organization, can sit down and say that this COVID really affected us. Can you come up with a vaccine? Not any other time this world will be affected again this way. Actually, we've never had, even during world wars, we've never had a world being held hostage by one aspect than COVID. So we can have research firm funded by the rich people and rich countries. Research about HIV. We want now, if you clear the COVID, you want to clear anything called HIV, such that probably even if you have HIV, it will be like cold. You say, one time I had HIV. This is the last time I'm getting, but I'm very okay. So, and you're okay. It's like vaccine. We give you vaccine. I have tried to define what is the project management. It's not so important to define so much at this level. But I want you to know the types of the projects in the construction industry because that is where you are. This is where you belong. And this is an area that I want to put a lot of emphasis so that it doesn't become entrepreneurship, but it is purely tailored to what you are, you people as civil engineers. Let's look at types of projects in construction industry. Residential construction projects. Residential construction projects. This include construction like you can renovate a house and give it a complete new life and shape. This has happened to houses like Kipande House. Kipande House was renovated by KCB and they've got a very big branch there. Kipande House along Kipande is which road is that? Is this Harambe? Not Harambe. I don't know. Which road is that one? That hold Kipande House. The one that head, it is called what?
Kenyatta.
Kenyatta. Is that Kenyatta? Eh? Yeah, but remember that house. That house was constructed, I think, 1901. It was renovated and became part of the museum. That's the work of your engineers. Let us see value in very old ancient houses and be proud of it. So that's a residential project. We can have commercial projects like the way you have Upper Hill. You're coming up with the all type of design. You civil engineers, you know this. Houses look like a broken pen. Others look like a boat. They are there, and the purpose here is to attract maybe investors from other countries and view those houses. They rent space to us, or they do that and they sell houses to us. Hotels. We know in Kenya you have floating hotels like one in Karen. You can take meals when you are floating in water and you feel good. Industrial construction projects. This type of construction projects where people are coming up with the go downs, they're coming up with the factories, warehouses, assembly factories, assembly plants, uh, the industrial based, and you construct them with all the gadgets so that if you are producing things, you just go there with their inputs and then come up with a product. There is a very nice things coming up, and I want you people to be very observant here. Every county now is coming up industrial park. Industrial park. I've participated in some of them when coming up with the feasibility about them. I've gone through about three counties, and as a consultant. And what I'm saying here is that there is a lot of opportunity for you people, you engineers, civil engineers. They will be allowed 47 industrial parks constructions, and this could be a very good source of your employment. I want you to think along that line. I don't think we have enough civil engineers. But if you stay in your house and you don't connect and the network, then it'll be a problem. I want you to think around that line. And it's happening. The other day there was launching of I didn't make it, but I remember in feasibility study for it. Who come from Vihiga? Yeah, I may be saying something good for you. Who come from Vihiga? Yeah. Hey, my class is not talking. Akinyi, do you come from Vihiga?
No.
But you passed through there. Going home.
Yeah.
You must have visited the place. It's very close to Kisumu, and also you take through the Rwanda way route. Akinyi, Akinyi is not talking today. Okay, the reason is that they are coming up with a very big, huge, very expensive, uh, uh, very expensive industrial park. It will help people who want to produce goods and services from that region. It was launched the other day. I've mentioned all those which are very good for you to read about the project, but I want you to make the difference between a project versus business management. Project management is very different from business management. Because business management is about what you are doing. It's purely based on functions. But a project, it is execution of either a concept which must be within a specified period of time, the specification from the user or consumer in terms of quality, time, and there is also cost related to it. And when it is clear, if it is 6 months, it is over and over, you go to another project. But business is continuously moving. So we can have several projects in a business. But why do we have project management? Why should we study it? We do so that we are able to handle the resources. The resources could be time, the resources could be human, the resources could be capital borrowed from another place. So we must be guided by the designs, and you people engineers, you produce the design, must be guided. That design must be related to a budget. A budget is inflow and outflow of money, not cash flow. How you source money and how much you spend on that particular project. We are saying that although projects are scalable, they have got finite time. You cannot go beyond a certain period of time. If it's Cameron Dam and was supposed to be constructed within 18 months, it cannot go beyond that. But business can continuously move on until it is closed down or is harvested. When you're looking at project management, what are you looking at? You are looking at resources called people. I don't have to repeat this. You know how important it is. I've talked about it. Time, every project has a time bound element. You need to be very careful when dealing with the time. Ask yourself critical questions like, which is the easiest method I can use to achieve the maximum output within the shortest period of time? This is what we call critical path. And to do that, you must do a lot of analysis of different strategies, different modes you can use. That's what we call critical path analysis. I'm sure you must have calculated the critical path analysis, the CPA for a project at one time. Our scope does not allow to do this. But of essence is time. How do you utilize time, shortest period to produce the maximum output? Money, do I need to talk about this? Remember, you should have sufficient money to run the project. You must have contingencies, what you are not able to plan for, but it will probably come around. You never planned for El Nino, but it bounces back and you are halfway constructing the dam. It can't become full. I mean, do you have some other money that you can use elsewhere so that you can drain water and then continue with the project? That's what it is. I've given several answers, issues to that because they're not so very important at this stage. Another aspect you need to take care for is the scope. How big is this project? That's what calls the size. What are the goals? Does the government want to use this dam to irrigate and at the same time produce hydro power from it? You combine the two. Is this dam purely for storage of water? Or can it also be used as recreation? People could be using boats there and the tourism attraction. I don't know. The scope must be well defined. I talked about project life cycle, product life cycle. Now I want to talk about project management life cycle. I want you to be very careful during examination. Don't try to bring in unnecessary answers. When I talk about product life cycle, that Lawrence curve must be adhered to from the initiation of the product development, the concept, maturity, and then decline. Project management life cycle is different. We initiate the first phase of a project, and this phase will determine how the levels of expectation to people, what the project want to achieve, the feasibility of that project, and what need to be done. So it's like a phase one. So the output are well defined. We know who will do what, when, and how. We know the requirements from the stakeholders or the consumers. We know how to approach them. We know the next phase, what it is, so that we are able to interminate phase one to phase two. How do we marry the two? So what are initial costs? Who are the stakeholders at the very beginning? Do we increase the number of stakeholders as we move on because of the maybe the project or the project needs? Second stage after initiation of the project is planning. We need to have a phase where everything is planned meticulously. The scope of the project, the materials, the expertise, the communication that will be made there. Actually, you must have a very serious reviewed communication plan. Because when don't communicate, people read different signals. You may appear that you are very far to finish. As engineer, you know you're just about to finish. Because people see beauty, colors, pumps, and those kind of things. But engineer does not see that. Engineer sees designs. Engineer sees the set parameters, whether they are met or not. Light specification, they are met or not met. They are working with the input and output. They are working with the designs. They are working with supervisors. For them, they know they're in the track, the right track. But for you, you may be seeing it very far, but it's just about just maybe paint and maybe some pump around it. Execution, this is where the rubber meets the road. The team members must be equal to the task. They must be well coordinated and guided by the project managers, supervisors, foremen, so that they achieve their desired objective. But remember here, supervising people and executing are different. Execution means that the people who are doing it must have the capacity. They must be engineers if they civil engineering work. They must have relevant experience, and they must be able to troubleshoot and be able to solve any contingencies that are coming up. Monitoring and control are some books related to monitoring and evaluation, but I want to approach it from monitoring and control. When you are in a project, there must be what you call control phase. There are people who just use material because they are available. There are people who, if you tell them this project will take 3 years, they say, we're at the beginning of the year, can go for holiday first. No, every minute counts. So how do you control? You must have Gantt chart, a table that shows who does what, where, and how at what time. What resources are required at that particular each stage of it. And when you are doing that, you are doing monitoring to see. I gave you 10 tons of cement, you have used 8, and 6 kilometers are remaining, which require 10 of it. Where will you get it from? So you are monitoring before a problem happens. The control is that there is maybe fast in, fast out in a store, last in, fast out, depending on what it is. If it's something perishable, you know what it is. The control will also include aspects like who has the authority to incur expenditure. And if they have authority to incur expenditure, where do they report to? So that if they overuse, we take them to court, they are misusing the project resources. We saw that one a lot in the Rift Valley Water Services. The CEO was arrested, but he didn't like to be arrested, so he removed his gun, and those people arresting him had to behave well. So those are Kenyans. You don't go harassing them in their offices. They remind you they also have their rights, and the government, I don't know what is doing on that. I am not talking about politics here, but you must have control and you must have monitoring. Monitoring is simply knowing stage 1 is supposed to be done this hour, this by these people. Is it happening? That's monitoring. And if it's not happening, you raise an alarm. Closure or completion. Completing a project like civil engineering work like roads, it goes through certificates. You're given certificate 1, certificate 2, but those certificates have got specifications. They have the minimum requirements that you need to have for you to carry out, and they are called project deliverables. When you are transitioning from one phase to the other, it must be done so professionally that you surrender what was in phase 2, phase A to phase B. And when you are picking up phase B, even if you are in the project, you pick it afresh, either from inventory, either from procurement side of it, and that there is phasing out. And whatever is done in phase A, phase B, you can never go back to it. This is what we call the closure phase. You start with the initiation, the closure phase, and the deliverables are checked whether they are there or not. And of course, we close the project. We say the project is over. We hand over to the stakeholders or the consumers, and God willing, we meet in another project. So let us see project versus businesses. Projects have definitely start end dates. The Cameron Dam is starting at this period of time, it will end at this period of time. If it is not complete by then, you have to do a report, what you call summative report of a project, and then present to the stakeholders and the people who funded it, and explain in diagrams why you did not achieve it. So projects have got finite time. Business doesn't have finished time. Business is supported by what you call sustainability. If it can go for endless years, it will go so long as it's feasible and viable, and there's enough resources to run it. We're saying that projects normally introduce a new product or probably a change in society. But when it is produced as a project, they know that a product or service has got a project life, have got life cycle. For example, a project could produce a new item system, an IT system, and roll it out in business, where business as usual would be using that IT as a producing system, and day in day out. But they will be phasing out. For example, we have Microsoft. They normally have Windows SP 2010. You can hear Windows Pro 2011. And when you want to save a document, it tell you that this document is not compatible with the Windows Pro 20. Or probably there is uh, a system, an ERP system, which could probably be using a particular uh, system designed for that. Maybe it was designed using Java or C++ or something. When it is phased out and they know the designers and the manufacturer of that product or a system is they are not supporting it, then you have to abandon it, go to the system that is activated. So we are talking of a project being a system that has got entry behavior and an entropy. And entropy means the end of it. We are doing a business plan now, and you have done it well. The next class, I'll talk about business plan, chapter 4 and 5. We are clearing so that you're able to prepare for the examination, and I give you marks for business plan. But you're seeing a business plan is a document, a written document, and it's a tools that help an entrepreneur to actualize their goals. So a business plan will have strategies. You have noticed there is a marketing plan, there is designs like what you call production plans, and all these are designed to help an entrepreneur to achieve a desired goal. But a project must also have a plan which help the managers to know the inflow and outflow of resources, uh, when it's optimally utilized, and when to scale down production in order to achieve the desired objective. We have a project plan which is similar to what I've said about business plan in an enterprise, but a project plan outline specifically the objectives, if there are two or three, the task, who do those tasks, when are they expected to accomplish those tasks, what are the indicators, what you call verifiable indicators for that project, and when they are achieved, then you can be given the certificate for phase 1, phase 2, and then you are paid. Those who have never been in civil engineering project, you will know the importance of that thing. Today's marathon, project feasibility analysis. What is feasibility analysis? We conduct feasibility study or analysis so that we can be able to determine how viable the idea is. Can it work? Can it fly? Can it be implemented? Now, the purpose here is to ensure a project is legally and technically feasible. We must also make sure that whatever input we make will get equivalent output so that we break even, and whatever we are doing in terms of activity must be economically justifiable. That's what we're talking about, feasibility. So as part of a feasibility study in a project or any given venture, we normally evaluate the viability of a business or the project so that the funders or development partners, if they are there, they can make a decision whether we should continue with it or not. If it's a white elephant project like Takwel Gorge, the one that normally collects more silt than water, then we should be doing this at the very beginning and abort such projects. So there's a lot of clarification from technical people. There's a lot of decision making by the stakeholders. There's a logical flow and planning of materials. There's a lot of managing risk that are likely to happen. And you are trying to do what we call cost-benefit analysis, what we call CBA. This project, what value does it have? Must we be in it? Whatever is producing, can we get it from another country by importing instead of doing it at a steeper? So I want to end this discussion and say that when all this is said and done, we must ensure that the people who will be consumers, they are called society, are happy. And therefore, for them to be happy, we must look at externalities that are likely to affect business. These externalities are called STEEP, STEEP. And this stands for social, technological, ecological, economic, and political aspect in a business, respectively. Before we determine that a project is feasible, we also ask ourselves a question. Is society buying in this idea? It can be viable and feasible. They say that we don't want a dam here. We don't want it. Who said we want water? Then you abandon it. There's been a lot of challenges in Kenya government when they are coming up with the project. You try to come up with one, people go to court of law and they abort it. Is the technological good for us? Could it be abandoned technology in China and they want to bring it here in Kenya as dumping ground and then say we are lucky? Ecology. Are we probably bringing in a product that will kill everything that existed before in terms of fauna and flora? Is it viable? Is it ecologically sound? Will it affect our plants? Do we bring in a GMO? We grow them well, they do very well, but we have to import seeds all the time because it cannot germinate. We cannot try to have a hybrid amongst the products that you have here, marry the two. They can't. Is it ecologically viable then? Is there some economic sense out of it? Politically, does it augur well with the politicians? They can say we don't want it. We can do without clothes. People in South Africa, those they stays without clothes and they are comfortable. So you don't know a factory that deals with textile here. What are the components of a feasible study? When you are doing a feasibility study that helps you to know whether the project is viable or not, you must do a lot of analysis on what we call commercial profitability. So you're examining the market that you serve your product will serve in, the technical know-how, do you have it, or you come up with a product that product that require machinery. The only person who can repair them is from China, not in the other. Come up with a project with the machinery that can get parts all over the world. Financial feasibility, we come up with something like nuclear plant in Kenya. Then ask yourself, do you have technical people sufficient enough to be learning these things? Could it be we come with one and it bursts like what we call Chernobyl disaster, and the whole Kenya is cleared down by single generating power, electric power, by infusion of nuclear, and we thought we are developing only to kill ourselves. We start getting cancer from morning to evening. Is it fair? Socially, does it work for people as we design? Is it bringing challenges to families? And if it is bringing challenges to families, how do we handle this? When all these are done, we'll know commercial and economic activities will be taken care of. The technical feasibility, which is a study, and I'm sure most of you have been taught by your lecturers in this area, assessing the viability of a project by vis-a-vis the number of technical resources that we have. Do you have engineers to run these things? Do you come up with a rocket? Do you have sufficient engineers who will be carrying out that particular? I've given you some few tidbits that you'll be thinking about during your free time when it comes to viability of a business, the legal aspect, the operational feasibility, how you schedule your time, and the importance of the feasibility studies. But I want to mention something here. When you are doing feasibility study, you are looking at the least resistant path that you can take so that you get the production of goods and services the way you want with the minimal cost, but you get maximum output. So when you are rescheduling your techniques and you're coming up with a product, you should ask yourself a question. The path I'm taking, is it costly or is it friendly to my pockets or my budget? That path is called critical path method. Some book will call it critical path analysis. But I'm talking about method here because it's the path that you take and it is informed by your designs. So it's a method. So this techniques is usually used in estimating and monitoring a project's overall duration. We're asking ourselves, Kemarol Dam will take me 3 years. And then how do I schedule my activities so that within 3 years, I'll clear even 3 months before time? So there must be a methodology that you use. So you break down the activities into phase 1, phase 2, or whatever task you want, with an estimated duration that you take. And therefore, the CPM, what we call critical path method, will provide benefits such as the graphical view of the project. People can see we are in stage 2 now, we are in stage 3, we are just about to complete. That's a graphical presentation. It will predict time. This road from Nairobi or Wayaki Way, Westlands, all the way to Mlolongo, it will take 18 months precisely. We'll be seeing it graphically, and it is in the billboard somewhere. And activities that are close to A to be shown. I've given you a simple method of start and finish, and the method that you can use. The week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, up to week 5, and then finish. Now, what I'm talking about, these are methods in which you can be able to follow and achieve something. But you can do analysis for each method. Week 1 to 2, you do a lot of study there, feasibility study, and do a lot of analysis. That path you have taken may not be the best one. You go now, instead of going to 2, you may go to 3, 5, 4, whatever it is. That path you are taking so that they can give you the maximum benefits is what we call critical path analysis. Critical path methods, it is the broad approach that you take that helps you to achieve your objective within the specified period of time. Critical path analysis, you are trying to look at the path that can give you the least costs. So it's like you've got a very tight budget, constricted budget, but you want to achieve whatever you want to achieve, irrespective of the budget being that level. Gantt chart. Things must be done by who, where, how, and when. Who's responsible for this? What are the outcomes? What are the viable outputs? That table that you come up with is called Gantt chart. It's a bar shaped, and then you can be able to you can extrapolate what happens, and you can be able to advise the people who are consuming that product. That's what happens. I've given you several examples on how those things can be done. Delivery service of an app. These are for your own consumption and for you to understand them and relate them. I will not do human resource, but I want to summarize that there's something called program evaluation and review technique, what we call PERT, P-E-R-T. If I'm teaching you production management, I'll come now with the calculator and help you to calculate what you call PERT, P-E-R-T. But I'm sure your economics lecturer must have given you calculations and formulas on how to handle PERT, that's a P-E-R-T. PERT is a way to schedule or flow tasks. Don't just flow them in the Gantt chart in a manner that so and so just go there. No, come back. Let us have 2 people here. No. It's not about emotions. It's about a pathway that you take that it's informed by the design, informed by the customer's specifications and the estimated time of completion of a project. And therefore, these parts give flow of tasks in a project and estimate the total time taken to complete it. These techniques help to represent how each task is dependent on the other. How are they interrelated? Remember, the project is interrelated activities, and these activities must have coherence. A coherence that when you are transitioning them from one stage to another, or phase 1 to phase 2, there is a lot of they agree. It's like a jig puzzles, and none of them is left out or collide with the other one. It must be guided by the monitoring aspect the evaluation and definite milestone must be indicated so that you know where we are, where we should be, the discrepancies, and how you should handle that aspect. So we are talking about these things done in a manner that it will be useful for the project managers. This is good. I want you to ask me questions so that I can help you answer them. Today was a bit of marathon. It is good to go through marathon so that you can understand how things are. Sometimes universities like that. Obumba, Brian Obumba. I have known this not in my class. Clinton, Bill Clinton. You have a Muzungu here. Bill Clinton.
Yes,
Yes. Which state do you come from, America?
from
Clinton.
Migori State of America.
Oh, Migori. Fine. When I come there, I'll visit you so that you also show me what you are doing in Migori. But Migori is not far from here. It's just next to Kisii. Is it also?
Yes.
Oh, so very good. Do you have a sugar factory there?
Yes, there's a sugar factory there.
What do you call that one?
Sony Sugar, South Nyanza Sugar Cane Company.
So when you graduate, you are likely to be an engineer there.
It's mostly for mechanical, but yeah, I also hope so for.
Yeah, you should. You should be happy. You should have said amen.
Amen.
Yeah, good. No, I'm through. I know you've been listening very carefully. We've covered a lot. And next time I do that one will be in a very, very, very situation. I'm trying to modify these notes so that they don't become like commercial things and they become too difficult for you. I know sometimes are very new for you as engineers, but they're good. Engineers and economists work together. So I want to end the class. I have 5 minutes reserved for you. So go and enjoy the lunch and we meet the next class. Caesar, keep on talking to me. We are doing well. So enjoy the rest of afternoon.
Remember to send the notes, sir.
Yes, I'm modifying them. I have them. That's what I'm using, but I'm modifying them. They are too technical for you.
Okay.
Caesar, I said the way they are.
No,
You
modify
want to
them.
understand them. Eh?
Modify them.
I'm modifying them, but I'm sending them maybe tomorrow. But you have a time to call me, Caesar. Don't fear. Eh?
Okay.
So enjoy.